Hello friends and enemies, it's me Isabel here with the recs of the moment, the rec of the era I am in. I have enough that I've enjoyed enough to recommend to you, because I tend to only rec books that I like rated 3.5 and above, give or take. There's, you know, I'm picky about what I will put in a rec video, okay? I'm picky about it. We will come back to this topic at some point and I will tier rank all the ones I read, but I have six hockey romances for you today, and I'm so freaking excited about this. First of all, like many others right now, am in a hockey moment. I'm having my hockey era. I love it here. I'm also reading other things, so don't get me wrong, but there is something about a hockey book sometimes that you just like devour it in one sitting, even though it's very long, or two sittings. Again, even though it's like a very long book. So I don't know how I got here. I'm not a, listen, I have one sport. My sport is rugby. I played rugby in high school. I love rugby. I love rugby guys. There's not enough romances about rugby players. So like, I don't tend to read them because like, honestly, there's just not enough. But like, that's my sport. That is my sport of choice. I like rugby. I like rugby players. That's just where I sit. I read all sorts of sports romances, though I don't partake in sports or have much interest in sports, honestly. But I think it can always provide a nice background storyline to like kind of amp up the stress a little and give it a little more interest, we'll call it, overall. So let's dive right into all of these hockey romances. You know, I've got a variety here. We've got soft heroes, we've got two pierced penises, we've got a polyamorous one, we've got a team owner. Like I've got a variety happening here, and I feel like I can give you something you're looking for. We also have some of that jealous possessive things, but not like him controlling her jealous possessive, more like you need to be in my jersey at the game, you know, don't kiss my girl on the kiss cam, stuff like that. You're kind of gonna see through these recs, I guess, why I've been getting along so well with hockey romance right now. And you know, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. So first things first, I have to recommend Pucking Around by Emily Rath. Listen, I know what you're gonna say in the comments. You're gonna say, Isabel, this is 700 plus pages. Yeah, it is. And I'm not going to deny that to you. I read this book in 2 sittings though. 2 sittings. I read to like 60% in one go, and then I read the last 40% in one go. 2 sittings. If that isn't me like saying this book turned my ADHD brain off and I just sat there and read it, I don't know what else to tell you. This is the full-length novel that follows the novella That One Night, which I recommend picking up first, just to see if you like the writing and all that fun stuff. But I think it takes a lot of pages to develop a polyamorous relationship adequately, and they do that really efficiently here and really well, and I really did appreciate how much of that happened. So we have Jake, our cinnamon roll sweet hero, who maybe is bisexual, figuring that out. Caleb, who is like equipment manager, former player, besties with Jake. So they're jokingly called like work partners. And people say they're married and all that stuff, like they've lived together, all these things. And then we follow Mars, our, is he Swedish? I think it's Swedish. I don't remember. Anyway, somewhere tall and blonde and cold in Europe. I'm not very good at those countries. Listen, I would not blend in there, number one, but two, like, I would just be like, why is everyone here giant? I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable. Says the short friend. It's fine. But yeah, that's how I feel. But anyways, he's the goalie. And y'all, it is so good. First of all, the meet awkward for Caleb and our heroine Rachel is spectacular. She definitely has a tentacled item fall out of her bag and says it's a joke, but don't worry, that item comes into play later. It's so good. And it follows like her slow development into a relationship again with Jake and Caleb and Mars, and it's so good and it's so fun, and I'm dying for the audio, because when I tell you I will be rereading this book immediately as soon as I have the audio, I'm not joking. Like, I cannot wait to reread this book via audio. Cannot wait. So yeah, if you're looking for like something that you can't put down and is incredibly long but also engaging and does a pretty good job developing a relationship for 4 people involved with each other, here you go. And then the next book, which I think you'll be able to read without reading this one, when that comes out, is Older Woman, Younger Man. So you could just wait for that too. But Emily Rath's writing was really snappy and fun and readable, and I think that says a lot. That says a lot to me about these books, because some of these books that I've read are not that, at all. Next we have Sunny Disposition, which is a grumpy sunshine. This is college set and really, really cute. This follows our hero who had a brain injury. He got jumped, leaving a party after a game, not going the way the team wanted it to, and he injured his head and lost a lot of his memories and his identity at the same time. And we follow his journey healing and recovering, figuring out who he is and who he wants to be now, and not who he's expected to be from everyone else and like the old him. And the girl that he talks to online and was actually going to meet that night when he got jumped. So when he wakes up in the hospital, he like starts messaging her again. It's the only thing that felt like right to him still, which I found really, really cute and sweet. So he kind of stops talking to her when he realizes that she's his new roommate. But it's precious and sweet, and I just think this book is like a really well done college age book. Like, they're both unsure of themselves and figuring it out and identity stuff. There is great face sitting in this book, in which she was like, I was always too nervous to do this with other guys, and he's like, nah, sit on my face. Like, just sit on my face. And I'm like, yes, please. More of this. More of this, please. But yeah, it was really cute, and he teaches her how to ice skate. Like, just very cute, very fun college age romance. And I loved the setup of them already kind of being friends and having to cross the line of like, no, so unfortunately he was like, I've kind of lied to you. We talked before. The way it was handled was really good. It didn't feel catfishy, if that makes sense. Next, we have Asher by Samantha Whiskey. This is my only non-hockey player romance. This is about a hockey player owner, team owner, billionaire, and a romance novelist who follows him. Now listen. This book is not going to be for you if you can't set aside the fact that he is basically like reenacting a romance novel with the romance novelist. But it was really funny and cute and silly. The third act breakup was slightly annoying, but also made sense. He's a very driven person and he didn't understand why what he was doing was not the thing to do. She is like kind of messy and ADHD-esque. All over the place, and I really enjoyed that aspect. We also got a jealous jersey moment in this, in which he was jealous that she was in one of the team members' jerseys, which was really funny and cute. That happened like twice in this one, and I was like, this is adorable, and I love this. And he's like, I've got to get her an owner's jersey because I can't be having this. She cannot be out here in one of my team's jersey numbers. Like, how adorable. It was very cute. Again, you have to be here for like kind of the silliness of it and the silliness of the setup. You know, they do explain things about self-publishing and other things like that you may or may not know as a reader. So just, you have to be along for the ride. But this was really fun and surprised me. It was a nice change of pace in my hockey reading personally. But yeah, she's shadowing him basically to research her billionaire for her book. And, you know, him and his friends go on like a monthly trip basically, or a quarterly trip or whatever. I don't remember the time period. They go on these like bananas trips, and she ends up on a trip with him as her time ends, and like gets their relationship flourishing, and very, very cute, very, very fun. She kind of peels him apart a little, you know, because he's a very buttoned up hero. Then we have Onside Hearts by Nikki Lawson. Nikki, I need your next book already. Okay, listen. We've got another pierced dick in this one. This one was a Prince Albert. The other one was a Jacob's Ladder. If you need to know. Now you know. This had like everything, but I will say this one I do think was a little too long, so you need to be ready for something that feels a little too long. This has a really fun meet cute. So they meet in an elevator when there's a power outage basically, or a fire or something happens, the elevator's stuck, and she starts having a panic attack and gets off on his leg basically to calm herself from the panic attack, and he's like calming her down. They get out of the elevator, they get rescued, and she can't find him, he can't find her. Well, fast forward, she is the new interim social media manager. She's like on a probationary period for his hockey team. And he's like, shit, she's here. This is my chance again. And he starts marking his territory big time marking his territory. This was so fun. This was so much fun. So I did enjoy this. I think this is, like I said, it's just a little too long, like a little too long. But I still recommend it because, again, it had some of the best of those moments I really crave in a hockey book. So, like, for that alone, I would reread those scenes. So, yeah, they kind of slowly figure it out. What I thought was them overcoming their main issues, of course, was not actually the third act breakup issue. That also annoyed me because I was like, dude, you're rich. You can just fix this problem. It's a whole thing. I don't want to give it away, but like it was a whole thing. If you want to know it, I'll like DM me and I'll tell you, but I'm not going to say it here. But this had a jealous Jersey moment because she's in like this old jersey at the first game or whatever, and he's like, she needs to be in my number. And when they leave the game, this is in the beginning of the book, he is waiting for her outside the bus and gives her one of his jerseys and is like, wear this from now on. And I was just like, yes. Yes. And then they like, she's a social media manager. They do some things that like, I ran about this in my blog. Like you could not do. Like this would never get approved by legal, but that's a whole other story. And there's also a really fun moment on this in which she gets on the kiss cam with the guy next to her and he like starts to lean over to kiss her and he like skates over and starts banging on the glass and is like, don't fucking touch her. Everything. Everything. But he's also like secretly a very soft hero. Like he will do anything for her. Former playboy that's like reformed for her basically. But he like is this playboy that turns into this super sweet soft hero who just like wants to eat her out all the time. And what more do you want? I don't know. But listen. It's there. It's in this one. I highly recommend it. Next we have Until I Get You by Claire Contreras. This one was a really big surprise for me. So I know Steph read it and then I finally read it. This is like the weirdest mix of tropes that we get. This definitely has a romantic suspense, dark romance mix, like completely mashed together because our heroine Lila is dealing with a stalker and our hero Lachlan is determined to not let her go. They graduate college and she vanishes. And 3 years later, after he's like rode out, so we get like the before bit, and then he rides out his hockey career for 3 years, leaves for a reason she doesn't know. She sees he's retiring and then he shows up where she's living. And we slowly like unravel the romantic suspense element of this, of who was her stalker, who has been taking out members of her family and people who threaten to ruin the thing the stalker has for her. So I really liked that element. She was also a like really good soccer player and I really enjoyed that too. I think it was really fun to read about two athletes in their prime. And I think the dark romance element worked really well. I think it was intertwined really well. This is a thing though where like it's not super duper hockey book, like hockey romance, but it has it there. Like, you know, he played in college, there's all this stuff. So I liked the mix happening here, but it's not like pure hockey romance. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But either way, this was a really fun mix if you're looking for like a hockey book with not too much hockey. I hope that makes sense. I know that's a weird statement, but I hope it makes sense. I really enjoyed how this was told. The audiobook was on Hoopla and I had a blast listening to it, to be honest. All right, and last is the most recent one I read and I'm already obsessed with and I have to go back and read the rest of the series. That is The Neutral Zone by Tegan Hunter. So this is like book 8 or 9 in this series. You can start here. You will be fine. I started here. You will be fine. I promise you. I would not rec you a book you couldn't start with. This is the softest hero I have read in a hockey romance so far. The softest hero. Oh my goodness, do I love him. He is an introvert. He is a cat dad. He is afraid of the dark. Like, he's so soft and so sweet and just adorable. So his last girlfriend thought he was weird because he's into voyeurism. And that kind of like played out badly for him. So he's just extra shut down into himself. And they call him Fitz Baby. Fitzy Baby. And Fitz on the team. And he is just a sweetie pie. Like, so sweet. Fitz stumbles across Rosie's cam girl situation. She also works as a barista and baker at this coffee stand that is outside the stadium. And he stumbles across her thing. And it's just her on camera in a sexy outfit doing things. Like, it's nothing like graphic or sexual that she's doing. She's literally just like coloring or baking, things like that. Like, just existing in the world. He accidentally finds this stream. And he loves it. His username is literally Shoots and Scores, okay? First of all. And they've kind of developed a relationship sort of via the streams. They've never private chatted before, but we follow that happening and him like trying to approach her and like them actually hook up and their like adorable awkwardness. They're so awkward together and it's adorable. It felt very real to me, like how it is when you first meet somebody you like. And it was just really fun. He was not like shameful about her cam work. He didn't discourage her to stop it even. He was just like all in for it. And their first hookup at this Halloween party was fantastic. Fantastic. We also do have another third act breakup because she finds out the truth of the matter. I don't know, is it quite third act? Yeah, I guess it was. Anyways, this is a short one, but we do have like a breakup in the book of them like having a, you know, blowout a little bit because she finds out the truth that he's been watching her. And like, I get her uncomfortableness with it. But then the end is like her figuring herself out more so than him having to figure himself out. And also her making a grand gesture for him. That was spectacular and adorable, and I absolutely loved it. So I just, like, this is the one, if you want like a soft hero in a hockey book, this is it. It's spectacular. So those are the last 6 hockey books I read and loved. Like I said, I will do a tier ranking of all the hockey books I read, probably sometime in the summer. When I feel like the high of hockey books is wearing off, we'll rank them all, because it'll just be funny. Or when I get to like 20 of them. I don't even know where I'm at right now. I probably need to count. But yeah, I don't know. We'll do something like that. Anyways, if you have a favorite hockey book that I haven't talked about here, please leave it down below for me so I can go check it out. And if you don't want to do that, leave me a hockey-related emoji, obviously, in the comments. I will be back to talk to y'all in just a few days of my next video. Bye!
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away.